A buddy's Jeep was experiencing death wobble. I told him I'd take a look at it. Everyone told me it's either the steering stabilizer or the track bar. When I looked at the track bar and the suspension components, I did not see anything wrong with the track bar, but I did notice that the upper drag link had some play in it. It is definitely some up and down play, and I'm really hoping that is the cause of it. Everything else looked really great. In terms of the repair then, I purchased a new drag link end. That's the one in this image here. You can see I'm pushing on the bottom of it because there's quite a bit of play in that direction. The goal here is to just remove the nut on the top of that joint and then pop the joint out of that fit. It is a tapered fit inside of there. And so sometimes they get stuck. Before I was able to do that, I went and removed the air dam, which was the first step. There's 2 different screws involved and a bunch of these plastic fasteners. Remove them. Just used a 21 millimeter wrench and a little mallet to get the nut started and was able to remove it. The next step here is where I have failed over and over again. To get this joint to release from the pitman arm, I've seen techniques where people use the 2-hammer method. I just can't get that to work. What ended up working for me was the traditional pickle fork, as well as a rather large 2.5-pound hammer. And once I gave it a couple good whacks, it did come undone. I did tear the boot up like you can see there. I would much rather be able to get that out without ruining that boot. Once it was down, I just hung the drag link down, removed it. There's there's like a sleeve that goes across the joint itself. First removed that from the old link and then grabbed the new link. This one was a greasable unit, so I installed the Zerk that was installed. I also used anti-seize on both of the threads, both on the inside of the sleeve as well as the outside of the sleeve. When you go to reinstall it, it's not exactly clear the position of that sleeve and where it needs to be on the joint. So I picked a spot in which it was similar to where it came off at. There is a slot in the end of it, the joint, and at some point it locks with that pin. There's a riveted pin in there to keep its orientation correct. And once it locks in there, the only way to adjust it is using the aluminum sleeve. To summarize that, you're going to spin the entire assembly until that back slot interfaces with the rivet. And then after that, you can only turn the aluminum sleeve. And that's how you're able to adjust the length of the drag link. Tightened up the bolt. Tighten up that 15 millimeter bolt there as well. This is just a regular position. We'll adjust the steering in a second. Greased it since it's a greasable joint. I didn't see the boot bulge, but I had added quite a bit, and so we'll keep an eye on it. After that was finished, I went and replaced the steering stabilizer. I had a takeoff stabilizer from a newer Jeep. It was from a 2024. In fact, it was even a different part number than the steering stabilizer from the 2021. So I'm hoping this helps the situation. There's just one quick note. The bolt on the left there that goes near the knuckle is directional. So you have to have the steering stabilizer in the right orientation. Otherwise, that bolt won't go in. I lined it up and then torqued everything appropriately. And it's ready to go. So just to summarize everything, my buddy had a case of death wobble. I had him replace his tires because they were worn and death wobble came back. After an extensive inspection of the suspension system, The upper joint on the drag link definitely had some play in it. The track bar looked rock solid. So I replaced that upper joint and also replaced the steering stabilizer with a newer version. So far it's driving amazing. Let's see if it stays that way.